am Richard J. Conti, accredited senior appraiser with the American Society of Appraisers. When someone says to you, they give you a verbal appraisal, it's worth nothing. When they put it down in writing, that it's based on evidence, and they found the evidence and tell you what the evidence is, now you have an appraisal. The whole population has a misconception of what an appraisal is. They think that a person's word is good enough. They'll ask their barber what the price of their house is worth. It's ridiculous. It's impossible for an appraiser to know everything made by man through the history of civilization. So what we do is we have a methodology to follow, to uncover and narrow down to determine exactly what something is. So I subscribe to databases on the internet and I have 3,000 books. And one that I like to illustrate is Hummels. Everybody has a Hummel. And in the 1930s, when servicemen were over in Germany picking them up for 25 cents, 50 cents, a buck, and bring them home, they were endeared by their loved ones who received them. Some people took it over the top and they amassed great collections of them. And around 2003, 2004, the market was getting a little soft, but you could still sell them for, like 25 bucks a piece. Now, you can't give them away. There's a store in Seekonk that's got thousands of them in there. They're not taken anymore because there's just more of them than anybody wants. So what happens is, you got a price guide. The price guide will tell you that the Hummel, there it is, $300. Where are you going to get $300 for that? So it's not that the books don't lie, but the books are giving you a price that's, if you had to replace a broken Hummel and pay a decorator to go find an exact copy, they would probably charge you $300 to go get it. And that's really what's behind all this. Everybody collects everything. In America, there's no end to it. Salt, pepper shakers. Ridiculous. Who would want skunk, salt, and pepper shakers on their table? There they are. And people, not one, there's 9 sets of them here. They're all cataloged and they're all terrific. But they don't sell for much money. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what things are. And so we have, I have catalog raisonnés. This one is from Curry & Ives. And in this book is every print that Curry & Ives ever created. And it's detailed on what the exact size is, because there's a lot of fakes out there. People make prints of Curry & Ives prints and try to sell them as originals, and they're not. So you need the catalog raisonné to know whether you're looking at a real Curry & Ives or a fake Curry & Ives. And believe me, there's fakes in everything. This is a famous book. You cannot buy the original Wallace Nutting book. So what they did is they reprinted it in the 1960s in 2 volumes in one. And what Wallace Nutting did is he cataloged early Americana furniture in all of the different ways that it was manufactured. And he was one of the first people to do such a great job. He was a promoter, but he did a great job of putting together the classification of chairs and desks and told you what the differences were between them. He was one of the first, let's call him a grandfather of the profession. He really did a great job. The latest book to my library is called Connecticut Valley Furniture. This book lists for $1,380. It is a definitive work done by a team of people in Connecticut on Connecticut-based furniture made of cherry in the 18th century. And it goes right through all of the furniture made in that Connecticut River Valley. These are all veneers. John Townsend was the inspector of all the woods that came into the shipyard in Providence. And what he did is he took some boards of mahogany that looked like this kingwood, and he made a desk out of it. 44 inches wide, slant front desk. It's gorgeous. The wood has this very deep contrast in grain, and it makes that desk just take command of any room that it ever will be in. Doris Duke bought it to put it in this house. What is its value? It's in the millions. This is all jewelry instrumentation to be able to determine what size, what shape. Here's a set of diamonds that'll help you tell what color your diamond is. So there's 10 diamonds in there, each of a different color, and unless you hold a real diamond to it, you'll never know what color it is. This is called a Presidium Duo Tester. Underneath here, you put the gemstone on it and it does a reflectivity test to measure the polish of the stone. And when you touch the probe, turn it on and touch the probe to a stone, it'll tell you through electromagnetic resistance whether or not it's sapphire, garnet, emerald, topaz, diamond, or glass. A remarkable instrument. And some of the tools in here come from other professions. This is a pair of dentist pliers, which I use to remove nails from the back of prints and works of art. There's a hemostat that I use to hold stamps when I'm evaluating stamps. There's a gauge, a micrometer gauge, because everything needs to be measured, all the jewelry needs to be measured. I have a set of gloves in here because when you touch things that are made out of metal, you leave oil on them. So I always travel with a pair of white gloves, and these are cotton. If the item has got any moisture in it, I have to use the latex so that it doesn't get on me. I was once appraising some machinery and equipment in a factory, and I walked through a puddle, and the man that I was with said, "Go take off your shoes because you're going to be standing barefoot on the floor in a couple of minutes." I didn't realize it was acid. You know, so some of the things you got to be careful about in the trade. Books, I use the cotton because old books are printed on rag paper using a letter type press. The bleaches and chemicals put into the paper when they made the paper are not archival, they're not acid free, so the paper is actually destroying itself over time. I saw a signature of George Washington in Rentham. The India ink was burning through the paper. It was almost translucent. The George Washington signature was almost eaten through the whole paper. That's how you know it was real. The paper will absorb any oil on your skin, so you don't want that to happen because you could leave a print. But it's actually the bleach that's inside the paper when it was made that's destroying the paper. It's not you handling it. I've been working for 9 years with Rhode Island Public Television, WSBE, to put on a appraisal show. I've been through 3 presidents and several producers pitching my idea, and finally someone listened to me. This show is going to be a program that's going to profile 6 of my peers who served with me on the Boston chapter of the American Society of Appraisers, of which I'm president. And I convinced them to come down to Rhode Island to do an appraisal show. Everything's going to be appraised in accordance with the national standard, which means it's in writing. And it has been properly researched so that the value opinion is based on evidence. That's very important. The television producer who's making the show is betting on the fact that we're going to be pulling our hair out, and it's going to be kind of like a reality television show. What happens when 6 appraisers fall into a crowd of 12,000 people who want to know what something's worth? And we have a system set up. So I have modern arts appraiser, abstract expression art appraiser, 18th and 19th century art appraiser. I have a paper specialist, I have a generalist, I have a furniture specialist, I have a silver specialist, and a ceramic specialist. The rugs, I'll jump in and do on the side. The producer is a terrific fella. You got to put your faith in him. He is going to be putting together 2 sides of the show. One is the story about the appraisers and the challenge that they face. The other is the remarkable things that people bring in and what they're worth. It's sure to produce some entertaining moments. I'm an appraiser, I'm an auctioneer, I'm a city councilor, I'm a real estate broker, and I have commercial real estate listings. It's a big plate. But my opinion is that it's a short time on this plane, so you pack everything in